I'm Justin Guarini. I'm from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and the idea that I have is to help revolutionize the way performers approach the material. The work is what we like to call it. I've always had this logic brain and this arts brain. And obviously in the arts, I've excelled. And when it comes to logic, I was taught from a young age how to be handy by my dad, and I love techie things. And yet I've never been able to really put the two of those things together until I started discovering what funnels were, until I started saying, okay, I've got these great skills, and while I am a highly paid employee doing performance and things that I want to do and that I love to do and that I've been trained to do, I'm still just an employee. So how do I become an entrepreneur and a boss and my own boss? And so really it's been about 8-month journey where I've discovered so much about how I can take the skills and the wisdom and the lessons that I've learned and actually apply them to my own business. And as far as I've been able to see, there's very few ways, if any, that are better than developing a funnel and developing and using a system of getting people into your network and then ultimately monetizing and adding value. What I love most about today was the fact that I got so much clarity and just even in the 8 hours that we had, I was able to take this sort of general cloud of ideas and thoughts and feelings and really laser focus it down to something that's going to serve me long term. And one of my favorite things specifically that I got out of today was I learned that it's not good to just put content out unless you have some offer, some place to drive the people that you're trying to reach with that content. You know, a lot of people go into the situation that I'm going into and they just want to put out add value, add value, add value, and then it's like if you build it, they will come. Well, the problem is that most people don't actually build it. You know, they put out a lot of content and it's really wonderful things, but it's just like giving money away and ideas and energy without any sort of return. I felt like I had a good bead on the fact that I would be able to realize my vision before today. I am in a very blue ocean. No one is serving the market like I want to serve them. But underneath all that were reservations and doubts about the actual vehicle in terms of the development strategy. And I just really believe in myself and I believe that I can do it. I know how to stand in front of a camera and deliver and perform and all that. But what I really was not sure about was the strategy of how to maximize my abilities and how to scale the project that I want to work on. And so I had a lot of belief before, but going through this process today really helped me understand, okay, these are the steps that I need to take. And it gave me, you know, a sort of like a guideline. It's like there's all this blizzard of information out there and I'm trying to get to a certain point, and it's like I've had these stakes driven in the ground with a rope attached to them, and while all the craziness of the blizzard is happening around me, I have a very clearly defined path and rope that I can hold on to and get to where I need to go. The main thing that caused me to consider a done-with-you service like this as opposed to building it just myself really boils down to time and money. I am fortunate to be very successful in my business already, and I can always make more money, but what I can't make more of is more time. And I have 3 children, and my wife and I are already crazed with our 3 kids, not to mention a thriving career on top of that. And so I knew that if I had just gone and done this, it could have been good, and it may have been done in a year or a year and a half, but as you probably very well know, if you're an entrepreneur and you studied any sort of business, most businesses, small businesses, fail. And they fail rather quickly, and they just end up being these holes in the ground that people pour money into, and their time and their energy. And while I can make more money, I can't make more time with my children. I can't make more time with my wife. I can't make more time with myself. So the fact that I'm able to participate in a do-it-with-you service like this and collapse time down into a 60 or 90-day sprint in order to launch and begin to see the results that I want to see was a huge driver for me coming here. What I was expecting today was to really gain insight and clarity on a lot of the places where I am weak when it comes to business. I am a performer. I am an artist. I understand how to work my world and my system, but only been in the game for about 8 months when it comes to funnels and advertising and the general marketing and all of the different places that I can go and find an audience and how to laser target my audience. So I was definitely expecting clarity in that arena, and I certainly got it. But then there's the little things that I wasn't expecting, like, well, what type of little type font would you use for your brand? What's the mood of your brand? What are the colors? And I was thinking, okay, here's my brand name, xyz.com, and I'm gonna run all of my stuff through that, but really it makes more sense to go with my personal brand. There's all those little facets and things that the questions I don't even know to ask that were answered today, and that I now understand, okay, I've been given these guideposts, and now because I'm curious, because I want to know more about this, I now have an understanding of how better to up my skill level in the places where I am weak or not quite as developed as I should be. So that's really what I was expecting, and my expectations were met. I'd say the biggest unexpected discovery that came out of today really was the realization that I was putting out content and putting out this great, because all I want to do is add value. Obviously I want to make money off of it, duh, we all do, that's why we're here. But I also want to add a great deal of value to my community, to people who have struggled like I have struggled, and I want to help them out. But it was kind of funny because I want to launch this podcast that I've already done 35 episodes of, and I want to launch all these other things that add value and give content, but doing that without having a place for people to go and to continue their education, let's just say in this instance, is almost like teaching new people the trapeze without a net below them. And so it's like, great, they may be able to do one or two things, but when they fall, there's nothing there to help them to figure out things down the line. And so that was probably the biggest unexpected discovery for me, is that I just need to be patient, and I need to develop more of my own brand and my own messaging, so that I give people not just 2, 3, 4 weeks of content, not just 60 days of content or 90 days of content, but I can really help guide them throughout their journey in a way that, like they say, new level, new devil. When they get to that new level, that I can be there saying, oh, here are the new devils. Having completed the 8-hour funnel day today, the value versus the investment, I really honestly can't put a price on the value. It's significantly higher, because when you think about the amount of money I would have spent tripping and falling and getting up and tripping and falling and advertising here and there and just kind of it's like instead of being a sniper, I would have just tried to just do drive-bys left and right, and they're highly inefficient and ineffective. And so that alone, for the financial aspect of my investment, is clutch. But really, truly, what it comes down to is an investment that is priceless, and that's time. Time is so valuable to me because when I am off and I am working, that's time that I don't get to spend with my family, and family is the whole reason why I'm doing this, to be honest with you. It's my legacy. It's what I'm not only leaving my community, but ultimately what I'm going to leave my children and their children, and what my wife and I are going to be able to give to the world. And so really, beyond the investment, great. Again, I can always make more money, but I can't make more time, and I cannot, and I could not have collapsed time in the way that I'm going to be able to do it after this, had I just tried to do it all by myself. Now that I've done a funnel day, I really love that. I got to hit Bryan to a genre or facet or a business that he hasn't really worked in that much. And what's really cool about that, it's like one thing if I was, a B2B or doing things like that, that's wheelhouse. But what I really loved is how Bryan was able to make the shift and understand my business at a fundamental level, even though he's never really worked in that before. And that just really shows me how he knows what it is he's doing and what he's saying, and that the concepts, the core concepts of what you learn here at the funnel apply not just to the normal entrepreneurial channels, but to a wide variety of businesses. Now that I've gotten a ton of clarity from the funnel day, and that we've gone through the steps and the processes, and I have gotten to really explain my vision to Bryan, I feel much more hopeful about the success of this business and where I'm going and how I'll be able to get there, because it's all business is crazy. All entrepreneurial endeavors come with the risk of falling off a cliff, but I know that I would have an exponentially higher chance of falling off that cliff had I not been here, had I not gained the insight and really just understood what it's going to take over the next 60, 30 days in order to launch in a way that will not just be a flash in the pan, or will be something that will give me good or average results, but something that has potential to give me outstanding results. What I would say to people who are considering this and who were on the fence, just like I was in the beginning, clarity is power, 100%. And while I certainly believe in what it is that I'm doing, as probably many of you do who are watching this, at the end of the day, all the belief in the world isn't enough. You have to have clarity, you have to have the focus, and you have to have the roadmap that's going to get you between the gap of where you are now and where it is that you want to be. And what really was driven home today was, I know I have the skills, I believe in myself, I have worked very hard to be good at what it is that I do, but when it comes to implementing the steps that it's going to take to get to where it is, my vision is, the funnel day is so vital. It really, really, truly is, for the clarity, because there are questions I didn't even know that I should be asking. There are steps I didn't even know that I should be taking, and they would have been pitfalls. if I had done it by myself. And they would have been the same things that I had tripped over in the past. And they would have been the same things that other people have tripped over or fallen into and not been able to get out of, or not wanted to get out of. So again, clarity is power, and at the end of the day, I have a massive amount of clarity at the end of the funnel day, and that is priceless to me.